If you're a golfer that struggles to really compress a golf ball and to get that nice forward shaft lean that we've always been searching for, I want you to go ahead and watch this lesson that I gave to one of my students here that allowed us to achieve a ton of forward shaft lean, but get this, without even trying to get the hands forward throughout impact. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. So you have a tendency when you get at the top of your backswing where your trail arm is in a really great position, but as we go down, you're gonna start rotating the pelvis a little bit and the arm kind of gets pinned and stuck behind you, where that shoulder wants to work into a little bit of an internal rotated state, getting the elbow a little bit further away from the body. And that's why by the time we get to impact, the hips are out racing, and the only way we're gonna make any sort of contact with this ball is to start flipping the hands. So that's why we don't get the hands as far forward through impact. Now, how we want to address this is actually getting the arms back down in front of the body, staying in front of the chest. So notice how when I go down, I'm trying not to spin out my hips and leave the arms behind my chest and my pelvis. We're trying to bring the arms down as we shift and hold the back to the target or even the hips there. And notice how in this position, my hands are in front of the chest. So that way, by the time I start rotating, we'll get the hands a little bit more forward. So once again, back in front of the chest, and then adding some rotation. So one of my favorite drills here, and if we don't have this club, we don't have to use this, but I like the RMT club here because there's a little bit of shifting weight in here that's gonna send an extra jolt throughout the body and creating some good core contraction. So if we hold this here like a golf grip, slide the hand down, hold this kind of parallel to the ground. And what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to shift, holding the back to the target, and then trying to drive the arms down in front. And you can do this slow and controlled, or you can do this with a little bit of speed here, because once again, the beads in the ball there are gonna try to shift down and you're gonna have a massive core contraction right there. So we can really feel some explosive power and hitting the brakes. So getting to that left side, bringing those arms down in front with nice explosive power. Then when we're ready, we're gonna grab our golf club and do the same thing. So feel like we're bringing those arms down, so shifting, getting to that left and get them back in front of the body. Once again, what we don't want to see is the hips spinning out and the arms getting stuck behind you. So getting them back out in front of the body there. So if we watch this here, again, what you were doing was the hips were spinning out, the arm was getting pinned behind, and the hands are going to have to flip. Versus trying to get them back out in front, get to that left side. And this is where we have to earn the right to rotate. So rotation doesn't happen first. We have to shift and bring the arms down, and then once we get to the left, then we can powerfully push through that, which will then create the rotation that we've always wanted. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So feeling like we're getting to that left, arms back in front of the body here, and then we can push right on through. So if we look at the left-hand side of the monitor here, this is your before swing, so before we started to make this change. And what you'll notice as soon as we swing down is that you're trying to shift, but as you're shifting, you're trying to rotate the pelvis a little too early and the hands and arms are getting stuck behind you. So that's why by the time we're at about club parallel to the ground, notice how the hands are a little bit wide away from the body and there's really not as much lag. Because again, the hips are getting out in front. Tiger Woods used this in his heyday in 2000, and he called it an Olay move, where his hips are out racing his hands and arms. So then now the only way we're gonna make any sort of contact with the ball is trying to flip the hands, and it's gonna be very challenging to get any sort of compression or forward shaft lean. If you look at the right-hand side of the monitor, this is after we did our RMT club drill, trying to feel like the arms are pulling down as we're shifting and trying to keep the hips closed. So I cued you and I told you to say, aim your belt buckle if you had a belt buckle on and keep it aiming towards me, which is to your right a little bit longer as you're bringing your arms down. So now you're shifting, you're not rotating too much yet, getting the arms back down in front. Now look at the difference of that club parallel to the ground. Now do you see how you're actually creating a little bit more lag? And we're actually doing this again by hips closed and arms out in front. And then we can start rotating by pushing out of that left foot. And now look how much forward shaft lean we have. And once again, we did not talk about creating or trying to feel your hands more forward. We are achieving this through getting the arms out in front and keeping the hips closed a little longer so you can kind of get to that left side and then earn the right to rotate through that left foot push, which again is going to allow more forward shaft lean and to sling that club all the way through with more speed and power. If you enjoyed this content, please support my YouTube channel by clicking the like and subscribe button. And as always, I'd love to hear your feedback, so go ahead and leave that in the comment section. And stay tuned for our future videos that should be coming out on a weekly basis. Have a great day.